What's going on, everyone? Juicebags here, and welcome back to some Dungeon Defenders 2. Tomorrow, that is Friday the 29th, we are getting the first installment of the Seas of Dragonfall update to Dungeon Defenders 2. This update is going to include the much-anticipated Shard Vault, the new hero, the Aquarium, and then lots of bug fixes. A special thank you to Chromatic, who gave me access to this test account to do a little sneak peek of what's to come in the update. Now, first things first, let's jump right into the Shard Vault. The Shard Vault tab is going to cost 1,450 gems. So it's the same cost as the Crafting Material tab, and it is going to unlock the Shard Vault tab, and additionally is going to give you some shard packs that come along for free while purchasing the vault. Now, the Shard Vault is going to be able to store all your shards, and additionally, you're going to be able to just pump those right out of your inventory and into your vault. So, for example, right now, I've got a bunch of shards here in my vault tab. Let's just transfer them all over, get as many as we can that are not locked. And then we're going to come to our Shard Vault, and let's look at, say, the Cataclysm Shard as an example. We're going to be able to transfer those all directly into the Shard Vault. Now, when we search up that Cataclysm Shard, it's going to show it here, and I actually had 5 of them, so it is stacking the 5 Cataclysm Shards right there. Now, with that in mind, it's going to show Gilded Shards on its own separate tab. Like, here's a good example. We got Bulwark. Let's throw a regular Bulwark and a Gilded Bulwark in, and then we'll take a look at the Bulwark, and it is showing that we've got multiples there. So we've got 2 regular unupgraded Bulwark shards and a Gilded Bulwark shard, and then we got a little sneak peek of a shard to come, and that was completely accidental, but we've got one called Enhanced Bulwark, which is on the way. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and show that one off. So, increases the healing of the Bulwark by 4%. Now, this brings us into the Aquarium. The Aquarium is the newest hero that comes to the game, and it is themed appropriately with the Seas of Dragonfall. Now, the Aquarium does use polearms, has a melee and a ranged attack. The melee attack is going to work similarly to the monk, so it's going to be like a last swing type thing. As you see, the last swing is putting out that little burst of water to drench enemies. So if we look at that from a front view, you can see that water splashing and going out a little bit better. Now, the alternate fire on the Aquarium is going to be a little bit different. It is a shot that you charge up. Now, it will automatically release, so you can hold down, like right now I'm holding down the right-click button, and it's just firing off those shards. Now, just for note, I don't have a weapon equipped or a pet. I do have some hero damage gear equipped, and then I've got nothing in on Ascension that would affect any of these. I've got only defenses, and then the entire utility category for Ascension, pardon me, for this video. So you're going to be able to charge that up. You see it is doing the ice damage. So we're going to be able to combo those together. So you can use the melee attack to drench and then throw that ice damage out. And it's going to freeze all of those bads. Now, taking a look at the projectile, one thing I noticed right away is it does pierce enemies. So that doesn't mean it's going to pierce shields. So you may want to think about using a ring of piercing or a piercer chip if we need it. However, by default, it does pierce enemies, so we know that much for sure. Obviously, I don't have a geode here to test whether or not it's going to pierce against a geode or a vanguard, but it is going to pierce enemies, and kind of a cool looking projectile. Very curious to see what shards we get along with this one. Now let's jump right on into the Aquarium's abilities. First up, we've got Ice Orbs. Creates 4 rotating balls of ice around the Aquarium, dealing damage to all enemies they come in contact with and granting a chance to evade attacks. Think Blade Vortex from PoE, y'all. We got the spin. Oh yeah, we got the spin. We can see by those light blue numbers that this is indeed some frost damage as well. So we're getting we'll be able to proc the freeze once again, melee combo for the drench, and then our spinny balls will proc that freeze combo. So there is a look at ability number 1. Taking a look at the second ability, we've got Whirlpool. The Aquarium calls forth a raging whirlpool at the targeted location, damaging enemies and drawing them in towards its center. I personally am not a huge fan of throwing stuff on the ground, but I do have to say that this looks incredibly cool. Then remember, it is drawing enemies in. Now this, I am assuming it is water damage. So we're going to be able to get that freeze combo going as well by slapping that on the ground to drench enemies and then hitting them with that alternate fire for some freezing action. Now this, of course, would be valid even on a hero damage hero, as we're not going to be going for the value. We're going for more the grouping and the freeze. Now remember, this projectile pierces enemies. So if you've got another ability that is grouping the enemies and then you're able to shoot them with a pierce, to me, this is the thing I want to check out right away as soon as this update launches, as that just seems like it has massive, massive potential. Taking a look at ability number 3, we have the Oceanic Rift. Summons a geyser from below that damages, knocks up, and drenches enemies. So we got another drench here with the Oceanic Rift. Let's check that one out in action. Once again, you're going to cast it on the ground, and then it is going to shoot up. Now, this one, I'm assuming, is going to be kind of like one-shot burst damage, since it doesn't have a continuous effect. However, it's going to drench all of those enemies that it hits, where you can, in turn, hit them with the ice damage and freeze them all up. And then last but not least, of course, we have a freeze, the Bubble Bulwark. This is where that shard ties into. Creates a bubble shield around you that reduces damage taken and gradually restores health over time. When the bubble expires, it detonates and damages nearby enemies. Now, this one is going to be similar to like the Countess's bubble. However, it's not going to stack. It's going to be just hit the button once and you're good to go. You see the countdown timer. When the bubble expires, it's going to explode. Additionally, you can terminate this earlier. So if you want to just get the cooldown or whatever, and you're not as concerned with the bubble, you will be able to pop this and terminate it early. So if we pop the bubble, we can then hit 4 again and get that explosion right away. Now moving on to the Aquarium's defenses, we've got the Water Sprite Tower. Fires 3 bubbles in quick succession at its target, dealing water damage to enemies in an area. Now, for reference here on these videos, I'm going to use this medallion, defense rate, anti-melee, anti-chaos, and I'm going to use like a usual stack. So we're going to go with a mass destruction, a destruction, and a deadly strikes. We'll use the same relic on all of these towers, just for comparison's sake. Now, taking a look at the Water Sprite, let's check it out. It actually has a decent fire rate. It looks like it's got like a tri-burst thing going on where it shoots out in shots of 3. It's once per second, but it's shooting 3 shots. So it's actually 3 per second when you look at the individual shot types. And then you see it is bursting for AoE damage. Now let's check that AoE radius on this one from like a side view here and see what we get. Alright, so it's a decent little radius. You see it's hitting these 3 dummies when it's shooting at that one in the middle. So definitely a nice little radius on that one. Now moving along to the defense that I personally am pretty excited about and I just can't wait to check out. That is the Pufferfish. Launches a large number of homing spines at enemies. Spines poison those hit, dealing damage over time. So we're going to be able to get a poison by natural poison element going in. Let's take a look at that Pufferfish. Let's move that relic and those shards on over. That way we get that same comparison on the Pufferfish here. And we see this one is shooting at 1 per second as well. However, it is shooting out a number of those projectiles. This defense, I think, looks pretty dang cool. I mean, it's just a fun theme. Really hoping it works out well. This one is a tower. So instinctively, when I first saw it, I wondered if I would be able to, like, slap it into a lane. This one is a tower, so it is going to get slapped if enemies come up to it. And with that in mind, I want to kind of check out the stacking distances. Because, you know, we are going to want a boost aura and a buff beam on these guys. It looks like you can stack them fairly close. A little wonky placement on that last one there. But getting a boost aura and a buff beam down should not be an issue. And you see we are spraying it up. Now on that same note, let me check that first tower for kind of the footprint size as well. For a buffing environment, you can actually go right next to each other. They do have a pretty large footprint, as that base is very, very big. But you can, a little slight amount of overlap, you can stack them right directly together. Now moving on to defense number 3, we have the jellyfish. The jellyfish generates blasts of electricity that deal lightning damage to multiple enemies with its radius. So we get another element in the lightning tower, or the jellyfish tower, pardon me. And this one actually seems pretty darn cool. Let's move all of the goodies over again and take a look at what we're going to get here on it. The mass destruction, deadly strikes. The range on it is not crazy, but the shot is incredibly cool. So we see on the tooltip there, this one is going to hit 10 targets. Let's give it 10 targets. We got 10 targets right here with all those dummies. Let's check this bad boy out. I am kind of stoked about this one, y'all. That is just a really cool shot. Looking forward to jumping in and trying this out for sure. That just looks amazing. Now let's check its distancing. See how stackable they are. These have a little larger footprint, it seems. So you're not going to be able to place them right on top of each other. Are the multiples going to hit the same enemy? I'm assuming they will. Yeah, it looks like they are, so we're good there. You can't stack these right on top of each other, but that is going to be a powerhouse for lane blasting, I think. That and it just looks really cool, so I'm kind of excited about this one here, y'all. No doubt about it. And then last but not least, we have the artillery crab tower. With its unusual ammunition, the artillery crab damages and oils enemies in a wide area. Oh yeah, this is going to be awesome. Let's swap over our relic once again. And let's check this guy out. This one, okay, so this one is doing that AoE blast. It's actually shooting a squid. It's doing oil damage, which is also earth damage, so you'll be able to get the oil-earth combos going there for fire or poison. Let's check out the explosion radius like we did on the other one. This one actually has a wider explosion radius. You see we're hitting the second dummy, and it's exploding out to dummy number 4 all the way over here. So very nice range on that one. As I mentioned, it's shooting out a squid, which is kind of cool. So you get that little squid ink explosion, which is giving us that oil and earth. And altogether, the defense looks pretty darn cool. Now let's check how stackable this one is. Because this is a big tower, but you can, as you see, you can get some real good overlap on them. So you'll be able to get these guys stacked up if you're looking to try to clear a lane with these crab cannons here. Definitely looks pretty darn awesome. So there is a look at the Aquarium, the newest update to Dungeon Defenders 2. Once again, this launches on PC tomorrow. Now, we will get more information on when it will be arriving on consoles. I'm assuming that will be in the patch notes. But we do have confirmation that it will be on Steam and on PC tomorrow, Friday the 29th. Now, one other quick thing to mention that I know that people are concerned about. This is not the end of the Defender Pass, y'all. The new Defender Pass will come down the road. So for anyone who's still finishing up the Season 1 Defender Pass, you still have time. Chromatic actually said a couple of weeks ago that they will give us advance notice. So we're going to get notice that you've got 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, whatever, to finish your Defender Pass. You don't have to sweat that out right now. In addition to that, would you check out this guy over here? Oh yeah, we got Mana Node is in Tavern now. So he's going to be in Town or Tavern. If you're in your Tavern already and you don't want to zone out the town, you don't have to run out there to do an Ancient Power reset now. You'll be able to do that right here in your Tavern. In addition to that, Mr. Peepers, Old Peepers is getting some changes in your daily login. Is now going to be based off of how many days you log in. You see, I've already claimed this one. The very first one is 500,000 gold. You see, we've got shard packs, we've got material bundles, we've got straight up defender medals, lots of good stuff, some pet affection boosters, and then when you get all the way to the end of it, y'all, check it out, free gems. So just by logging in, when you get to day 30, you will be able to collect 100 free gems, which is another source of getting the premium currency in Dungeon Defenders 2 without spending any money. So you get another 100 gems right there, just as your login reward. So at a quick glance, it looks like we get 1,500 Defender medals, those 100 gems, and then numerous shard packs, gold, and other materials. So good stuff there on the new Daily Defender login calendar. But that will do it for now, y'all. I am super looking forward to tomorrow, Friday the 29th. We get the Aquarium and the Shard Vault into Dungeon Defenders 2. So I will be live, of course, on all the places, YouTube, Twitch, everywhere, the second the update goes live. And I am looking forward to it. So thanks an absolute ton for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. And I will see you next time around. Take it easy.